The term fermentation is not something I yet fully understand. It inspires thoughts of cooking up raw food with no actual heat involved. Cooking without heat? How can that be?
I'm Zoe Lang.
And I'm Shmoo Carney. We're at Warinyan Farm in Upper Lansdowne and we bottled culture the fermenters. We had the opportunity to farm a bit of land, so Zoe's parents bought the place here probably about 4 years ago.
I've done a lot of travelling and studied fine arts, so painting. Although I no longer paint much anymore, my creativity is really in the gardening and kitchen work and working with colour and texture. You know, we eat with our eyes and
the fact that you can have a product that's naturally that vibrant in colour, it attracts a lot of people to it, really.
Easy marketing in a visual world, you know.
Yeah, that's right. I've done 2 trades, so I was an aircraft maintenance engineer with Qantas, and then I was a signwriter for a number of years, and then I travelled a bit of Australia picking fruit and doing farm work before this. Whenever we need anything built on the farm, that usually falls to me.
Welding's a valuable skill to have on the farm.
It sure is, yeah.
It's been a bit of a challenge trying to juggle starting a business, setting up gardens, and because nothing was here when we arrived. It was an overgrown property that had been abandoned for 10 years. We've been building our own little shack using recycled materials and all natural materials, and we've always been interested in self-sufficiency and living sustainably and making a living out of that. So growing fruit and vegetables and value adding is how we've decided to go about that. It can be a difficult job to make a decent living with. When we started, we were growing vegetables and only going to market once a month, and then so having vegetables coming on but not having a market for them. We had in the back of our minds that we would like to ferment.
Go for it, Zoe.
So Zoe's pouring our passion fruit water kefir. We bottle them a little bit sweeter than we'd like.
And we flavour them with real fruit, so.
So this is our kombucha bin.
It digests the sugars and converts them into beneficial enzymes and organic acids.
So just ferment a little bit more, digest a little bit more sugar and create that natural fizz.
What a beautiful smell.
Yeah, you can actually smell the lactic acid bacteria.
That's not quite how I was going to describe
it. I probably shouldn't say that. Fermenting is basically the traditional preservation technique that all cultures have used around the world to preserve food that has all these other health benefits and stuff. Shmoo's kind of grown up eating pickles.
We grew up fermenting sauerkraut and all manner of vegetables from the garden. I'm first generation Australian. My father's Israeli and my mother's English.
So how many are we hoping to pick?
Around 8 or 10 today.
8 or 10 cabbages?
Yeah, so the biggest ones.
Oh God, they're massive.
We're aiming for 2 to 3 kilos per head because, well,
it's more economical.
Fermenting is very similar process to cooking in that it changes the food in a way that makes it more nutritionally available for us. When you ferment vegetables and drinks, one of the byproducts is carbon dioxide, and so you get these little bubbles. So it can look like it's boiling or cooking, but it's all raw, and basically the bacteria do the job that cooking would do, transforming raw food into
a more nutritionally dense product that's bacteria rich too. Oh, so heavy! But also, our job is mainly creating that right environment for that bacteria. So to do that, like you said, we don't heat treat anything because we don't want to kill the natural bacteria that's on our vegetables. So we don't use things like vinegar, we only use salt. And that's the traditional method of fermentation.
So we use salt to draw out the moisture from vegetables, and that just creates the right conditions for the naturally occurring lactic acid bacteria to thrive. So lactic acid bacteria is found naturally on the leaves and roots of plants. And just by creating this anaerobic environment, that allows that bacteria to digest the sugars and things in the vegetables, creating this sour sort of flavours that you get with fermented foods.
The products are acidic, they have an alkalising effect on the body.
The longer ferments are generally done with tougher vegetables like cabbage and root vegetables they're not going to just dissolve in 6 months' time, you know. Whereas cucumbers you might only do a few weeks. So,
in the height of summer.
So depending on the temperature will depend on how long the ferment takes. It's sort of a controlled rotting process, really. Might not sound so nice, but that's what it is, really.
Every time I cut a cabbage, it amazes me at the patterns that it produces. They're so perfect. Look at that.
We've sort of focused on working with some traditional recipes of sauerkraut and kimchi, but then also making them our own and experimenting with different vegetables and different flavours and drawing from different cultures around the world.
And also what grows well in our area too, because obviously the more we can grow ourselves,
working
the
with
more
the
sustainable
seasons.
it is.
Yeah. We're growing lots of cabbage at the moment, 3.18 kilos, and Chinese cabbage for kimchi, plus a lot of root vegetables, beetroot, carrot, radish, garlic,
We grow
onions,
lots of garlic and onions, and we grow various herbs and spices.
tomatoes, eggplants, capsicums, zucchini.
Going into salsa season, so
pumpkins. Okay, now we just massage the salt in to help draw out the liquid from the cabbage. The more I bash it and massage it, the more liquids will come out. We're not just growing annual vegetables, but also growing fruit trees and flowers for the bees and pollinators and beneficial insects to bring them in. And
you can hear our little ducks behind us, nibbling away in the pond behind us.
they gobble up all of our slugs and snails and things. Oh, there's definitely times when crops don't grow how you want them to, or you lose a bed, or the ducks fly in and pull out all your seedlings, or your chickens get in and scratch them up. So there's always little battles and things, but that's farming, you know. We're just persistent, keep at it and learning and always trying to improve what we're doing. Some of our least favourite jobs, I guess, are as you scale up. We've managed to make some of the processes more efficient by having, the right equipment like food processing machines that chop everything for you. But now a lot of our job is washing vegetables and topping and tailing vegetables, which can become a bit arduous.
In the chilly months.
Peeling onions.
Washing carrots.
But, some of those jobs become quite meditative.
Yeah.
So they're repetitive, but enjoyable at the same time because you don't have to be using your mind the whole time. Predominantly we are interested in selling in our local regions, so we do a weekly market in Taree and a couple of monthly farmers markets, as well as stocking some local shops and cafes with the drinks. Yeah, keeping things local is where we're at, and although we may eventually branch out. Make sure it's all under the liquid, put the lid on, and voila, sauerkraut. The whole process I really like, taking something from a seed, germinating, growing the seedling, planting it in the ground, watching it grow and harvesting that vegetable, and then creating this amazing product out of it, which is really beneficial for our health as well as being delicious.
It's satisfying when you've made a product that's come almost entirely from your own garden and you get to share that with other people too.
It's so tasty.
And simple.
And good for you.
We just want to be comfortable and make a living off the land and doing what we love. Just having a light footprint on the land.
It's delicious. Heading home with my now healthy gut full and the downhill run on my side, I feel a strange sense of empowerment. Perhaps we're more than just what we eat. Quoting Zoe, Maybe it's more about what we can actually digest. Hope these brakes don't give out.